What's up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and today I'm going to be crafting an insane wand. Um, so this is going to be some wand crafting, and you'll be able to use the same ideas. Realistically, trying to craft this exact wand is going to be like really hard. So the only things on here that I'm planning to keep is plus number to level of all spell skill gems, and then plus to level of physical spell skill gems. This gives me +2 to my blade vortex, and then it's also going to give a +1 to all of my auras and my defensive skills and stuff like that. So it's an absolutely crazy wand, but I have a bunch of crap on here that I don't want. So we have to be able to look at something when we have two stats together that, the chances of getting these two things together is just like slim to none. The only way that you can really actually kind of make this, which I will talk about, I mean, if you want to attempt, but I'm going to talk realistically about how hard it's going to be to get those two things together. Um, so let me pull this up. So we're going to go on PoEDB and we're going to go to our wands. So the to all spell skill levels is a 50 stat. This is the second rarest stat in the game, the rarest being a 25. The lower it is, the more rare it is. So that by itself is already like insanely rare, but then we also have the physical spell is a 200, so it's not very common either. If you wanted to try to recreate this, you would want to get the um, all spell level already on there, and then you would want um, to do add physical, remove physical, add physical until you hit that. The reality of it is though is there's so many physical modifiers that this is going to be a lot of luck involved. You probably could wind up doing like 100 swaps and not hitting it. You could get lucky. So if it's something you want to attempt for like a long-term project, that would be the best way to do it. Would be to get the all spell skill levels on it, and then do on a prefix physical for physical swap, having physical isolated. You only want one physical stat on it. Otherwise, you're going to wind up in a nightmare situation where you finally hit it and then you have two physical stats and you still need to remove one of those. And if it's in a prefix, then you're in a 50-50 removal situation, which is not good. Well, actually, you could use an attack remove because all of the other ones are attack. So I guess you could do that. Or, no. I mean, you could limit it down a little bit. Like, you could take and do... you could take one of these larger ones and you could craft it on there to isolate it a little bit, but all of these are the physical tags, so I guess you could make it a little bit better, but it's still going to be a really hard to do craft. That would be like a long-term kind of a gamble craft. You could do it. You definitely could do it. It's just not something that I'm going to say is, you have to understand it's going to take a lot of tries, or it could take a lot of tries. You could just wind up getting really lucky, but you have a lot of physical stats. All of these are physical tag, um, and then these are physical tag. You have like, and these are way more common. So like this is 1,000 stats, so it's 5 times more common. This is 1,000 stats, 5 times more common. These are 1,000 stats. These ones are 1,000 stats, 5 times more common, and that's on all of these. 5 times more common on all of these. 5 times common on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and then 4 times more common, 3 times more common, 2 times more common, and then the same rarity. So realistically, if you want to do that, I, go for it, but just understand that I'm telling you it's going to be really hard to hit, unless you just happen to be really lucky. Anyways, so I have a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to close that yet, that I don't want on here. Honestly, the cast speed I don't even want. Um, that's something that I can remove. It's going to be my only speed modifier, so I can guaranteed remove caster speed using either attack remove or speed remove. For now, I'm not going to touch that yet. My top also is in this situation where it has the lightning tag, and I'm not going to have anything on it that's going to have the lightning tag, so that's a guaranteed removal. So what I think I'm going to work on first is my bottom. I definitely want the critical stats. I want multiplier or a high tier roll on the increased critical strike chance for spells. So what I would do is I would start off first with remove add critical. It's my only critical stat, so I'm gonna do remove a critical, add a critical. Oh dang, man. Okay, so one try I hit that. Well, that wasn't expected, but that was very, very nice. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and craft onto the bottom. My multiplier. Okay. Oh, nice. Perfect roll on that too. So actually, now I'm at a point where the cast speed I can. Oh, it's attack speed. Sorry. So actually, I do definitely want to. I do definitely want to get rid of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my top. A part of this video is that, you know, I don't have a ton of the speed modifier, so that's something I'm gonna have to collect up. I will go ahead and remove that and then add something useful to it. But I'm going to now work on my top because I have my bottom filled in and there's nothing that's like, you know, having issues with each other. So I have to decide what it is that I want to do with this top. Going back to the POEDB, we always want to be deciding what is going to be something that we can control, because obviously I don't want to wind up risking ruining this. I know I can remove that, but then I'm going to have an open prefix. My ideal wand, once I, you know, am ready to risk going for the critical slam on the bottom, which the way that I'm going to do the critical slam on the bottom is I'm going to remove that attack speed. I'm going to craft on the only critical modifier that I don't want, which is increased critical strike chance, and then I'm going to augment critical modifier, which will guaranteed give me a multiplier, and then I'm just going to hope that I hit one of these higher tiers. Tier 3 is already going to be better than crafted, so I've got a 50% chance of winding up better than crafted. Since I have a tier 1 increased critical strike chance for spells, and that's a lot harder to hit, I'm gonna hope that I don't hit something, and the reason why it's gonna be harder to hit is once you have one on there and you add another one, then you have to do swap for swap and you can hit either one. So outside of me hitting like I'm just really gonna hope that I don't hit like the lowest tiers on that. But so now this is the situation I'm in. I want something else good on there. I either want number to number fire damage, or I want big spell damage or big fire damage. So the thing is I don't want to go for spell damage. The reason why I don't want to go for spell damage is because every single spell damage, the only tags that is going to have is caster and mana, which if we look at my wand, I have a lot of stuff on here that's already caster. The to level of spell skill gems is caster. The to level of all spells is caster. The chance for critical strike chance for spells is caster. So I can't roll a caster modifier, but luckily I want, well, percent fire damage is the exact same thing as percent spell damage. So I can go for either percent fire damage, or I can go for number to number fire damage. That's kind of like my choice at this point, and then that's going to give me a really safe reroll situation, because I am going to hit some, like, I could wind up hitting stuff that's useless for me, like I can hit this because this is fire damage to attacks, so this is not wanted, but since it's going to be the only fire stat on my wand, I'm going to be able to guaranteed reroll that until I wind up having exactly what I want. So I can reroll it till I have a tier 1, which is what I'm going to do. So yeah, that is going to be the direction that I'm going to be taking. We're going to go ahead and give it some tries. First, we're going to remove the lightning. Make sure that we don't mess this up. Remove lightning. We have one lightning modifier on here. Nothing else is lightning. So we're going to remove that. Now that's isolated. We have an open prefix, and there's no other place that it can go. So we're going to go ahead and augment on a fire. Hope that we get really lucky. Augment fire, be lucky. Okay, so I got a really low roll. Fire number fire damage to spells. There's two ways that I can redo this. I absolutely don't want to do caster. I've already explained the reason why we're not gonna use the caster tag. The caster tag would be risking ruining the item because it could wind up removing my plus to spell skill gems, or my plus to all spells, or my crit chance for spells. So that would be a really dumb choice. So the choices are to remove fire, add fire, or them separate. But I think I have a couple remove fire, add fire. Just make sure you don't do a remove non-fire, add fire, because that would be a very bad situation, because that's guaranteed going to remove
I cannot do this yet.
something that... Okay, so we've got to remove random fire from an item and add a new fire. So that's going to guaranteed reroll this, basically. So I hit low percent fire damage. So I'm going to keep trying till I get something, a tier 1. I think I have more. Or I might have more in my box. Or... it looks like I've got some remove fire, augment fires left down here, so we'll go ahead and do that. It is, of course, our only fire stat, so we're going to remove that. We once again have an open prefix. So now we're going to go augment again. Okay, so it winded up giving me the dud stat, which is the number fire damage to attacks. So on this one, I have the choice that I could, well, I still have the speed modifier on there, so I want to save my remove attack for that. And I have more, but that would be another option, as I could use, if you're running low on the remove fire, you could use a remove attack on that one. So we're going to remove fire again. We're going to augment fire again. Hopefully this time I get lucky. I think I already used up on my luck. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go in my stash and see if I have more of these rerolls. But that's what I'm going to wind up doing, and I'm going to do that until I have a tier 1 percent fire damage or number to number fire damage spells. I'd honestly be happy with either one. I have a lot of percentage fire damage, but I also have a lot of number to number added fire damage. I've got the tier 1 number to number fire damage and tier 2 spell damage, and then I've got a lot of other places that I have number fire damage added. So I'm kind of going to be happy with either one. I'm not sure exactly which one's better, but honestly, like, if I hit one of those tier 1, I'm just going to keep it, just because I don't want to be rolling the item forever. But I do want to have all tier 1s on there. So as far as this last stat, the cool thing is I can remove it. The speed modifiers are the most expensive, but since it has the attack gem tag, I'm going to be able to remove that. Even if I don't have a remove speed modifier, I can do remove attack, because nothing on the wand is an attack modifier. So that's going to be something that I can do with that. You can also augment, like if you wanted casting speed, you could augment. Let's bring back up. I'm just going to put this on me for now. I don't want to wind up losing it. Let's bring up the POEDB. So as far as the wand in the caster, we don't have very many caster modifiers since we already have this on here, and this is for slamming, not for removing. If I wanted cast speed, that could be something that you want. You could augment on cast speed. The only thing is when you remove it, you're gonna have to remove speed, because if you do remove random caster, you could wind up removing one of your plus skill gem levels. You could wind up removing your increased spell crit chance. You could wind up having a very bad day if you do that. But as far as augmenting, because we already have our increased critical strike chance for spells, this would also, if you wanted cast speed on there, this would make it easier for you to, you could do the same thing for the increased critical strike chance for spells, is you could augment on, if you had cast speed already on there, you would be guaranteed to get increased critical strike chance for spells if you already had increased cast speed on there. So that's something you could think about, you know, a way that you could use a less sought after, a less expensive, less hard to get modifier. Just make sure you don't, like, you can use augment caster on the bottom. Don't use it on the top. Make sure your top is blocked, because if you wind up getting a caster modifier on there that you don't want, you could wind up stuck with it. Or you're in a gamble situation where you're trying to remove, which in this case would be a 1 out of 3, you don't ruin the item. You hit one of those plus spells and you're in a bad situation where you're basically kind of starting over. So that would be absolutely horrible. Um, oh, it wasn't showing you. Oh, here we go. Uh, why is it not bringing it up? Oh, this is what I was showing. There's only 2 caster tags. So what I was saying there, increased critical strike chance for spells, increased cast speed. So if you put the on your suffixes the increased cast speed first, you would have been able to slam on a guaranteed slam on increased critical strike chance for spells, whether it came out good or not. But then could do you could do a remove critical or swap critical. Um, and if I had winded up getting a high roll on the increased multiplier and I had an open suffix, then I could have guaranteed, like, I could have take and remove attack, because that's my only attack, take off that attack, then I could augment on a caster, which would guaranteed give me casting speed, and then it would make it so I could guarantee to use a caster modifier to put on the increased critical strike chance for spells. So that was the other way this could have gone if I didn't hit increased critical strike chance for spells and I had winded up hitting the multiplier first, which kind of would have been a little bit better of a situation, because then I could guarantee to at least get some roll of increased critical strike chance for spells on there. At this point, you guys know what I'm going to be doing to finish this. I'm going to have to go into my stash tab and see if I have more rolls for this. Otherwise, it's just going to become a long-term project to eventually get this to a tier 1 roll, and then obviously to slam on my critical strike multiplier. I've been making a lot of critical stuff today, so I don't have any more augment criticals. Um, but yeah, and this is a cool thing, because if technically if you were to get 2 of these, you could have a +4 from your wands, a +2 from your necklace. That would be a +6. And then if you were to have an empower in your chest, you could actually get a level 30 blade vortex using wands. So if you wanted to go that route, I'm probably just going to stick with a +1. I might go to a +2, but I really want I really want a big life roll in here, and I've got a lot of attributes filled up on my necklace. So I don't know if I'm gonna wind up switching off this necklace, because I can still hit a level 24, 5. I can still hit a level 26 blade vortex the way that my build is set up. Which is a pretty high skill level. I'm easily going to be able to get um, my my level 25 now, even with only having a +1 on my necklace. I'm already at a +4, level 24, so I just add a level 21 blade vortex, and I'm at that bonus place for the increased radius, and the next increased radius isn't until level 30, which I don't want to use an empower, because then you're just losing a lot of losing a a whole slot, 41% more damage in my build, 41.5% more damage. So I'm gonna keep it with these gem links, and then go for a level 26 Blade Vortex through the rest of my gear. Like I said, the maximum you could go for, you could get a level 30 this way. Well, technically, if you had a +1 on your chest, you could get a +1 on your chest, and then you could also get the corruption mod, and you could get like well over level 30, but that's unrealistic to go for. Those are like one of those items that you get like, like one person in the league will get one. Um, yeah, or I mean, and then I'm sure you could find something like that to mirror. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope this helps you to craft some dope wands for yourselves. Thanks for watching. Peace.